Hi friends, it's Victor Costa, and welcome to Victor Costa Motivation. I hope you're having an outstanding day, and I hope today's podcast makes it even better for you. One of the greatest parts about having a podcast is that you get an opportunity to meet interesting and exciting people, to sit with them and interview them and get a chance to know them. In this particular case, I had an opportunity to speak with an amazing person. His name is Eric LeGrand. You may know Eric's story. Eric was a Rutgers University football player who played tackle but was also defending on a kickoff. When he went down the field, ran down the field, he explained to me that his opponent arrived at the player with the ball about a split second before he did. The guy with the ball, who was returning the kickoff return, turned his back. Eric's head went into his shoulder blades, and Eric was paralyzed as a result of this. However, this did not keep him down. Eric is a remarkable person. He is now a motivational speaker. He's an author. He's a philanthropist. He is a force of nature. And I got an opportunity to sit with him and have this great conversation about just what keeps him motivated and what keeps him going, what keeps him inspired. And Eric has not given up. So he's been fighting ever since the injury took place. And you may say to yourself, well, how is that possible? How does a person fight for that long? Because we're going on a good 8 years that Eric has been in this condition. But nevertheless, he still does whatever he can emotionally and physically to prepare his body for when a cure has arrived. So in other words, he's prepared. He's doing what he can do. He's doing his part in the healing process and believes that he will have a full recovery. He believes this in his heart of hearts. And he said the only thing he can do is do his part, while the other part of it, the other part that's out of his hands, the technology part, the research part, the development part, the contribution part that other people are making financially to help paralysis, is done. So he is abiding by what he believes is his end of the bargain. If he wants to walk again, he has to be prepared for when that technology meets his destiny. And it's remarkable because that's really all we can do anyway, right, is our part, and leave the rest up to trust, and leave the rest up to the universe, and leave the rest up to God, or leave the rest up to someone else. But we have to do our part. We have to meet the opportunity halfway. I remember listening to an NFL football player who was speaking at a charity event also, who had mentioned that he got his opportunity when someone else was injured. And he went on to play and to create great fame and fortune for himself. But for that injury of the other player, he may never have had a chance or an opportunity to play. But he had always prepared himself as if his number was going to be called. Eric LeGrand is doing no different. He is preparing himself for his phone to ring for when someone says, we have the technology to help you walk again. But he wants to make sure that his body is prepared and conditioned, and his mind, as well as it can be given the circumstances, to receive the technology when it happens. And all he can do is his part. And this is what was remarkable about this conversation. You know, I said, what keeps you going? What keeps you inspired? Other people ask me, Eric, all the time, what keeps me going? And I want to ask you the same question. And he said, you know, it's really the people that I see in therapy on a day-to-day basis. People in his physical therapy who don't have the same fame or the same support system that he has. Eric gets notoriety from the television, the media, and appreciation for who he is, for his celebrity status. But other people, he recognizes that other people are not as fortunate as he is. And he wants to do it not only to help his family, and what he told me was to retire his family and his mom. That's what keeps him motivated, to keep on being out there and to keep giving speeches and to keep other people motivated and to keep writing and circulating. But he also wants to show that you can do anything regardless of the hand that you are dealt. He said specifically, I may not have been dealt the best of cards, but I'm making the best of my hand. And that's all we can do. You know, oddly enough, I was speaking to a guy who plays poker competitively, and he asked me if I played, and I said no. I don't play. I don't do that, but I have played online. And he said, well, what have you learned? And I said, well, what's interesting is I've learned that it's best to play the hand that I'm dealt rather than the hand that I think I'm going to get. And he said that that was a great insight. And that's what we're doing. We're playing the hand that we are dealt. We're not making any false judgments about what we have. We have to deal with what we have in front of us, which is what Eric LeGrand does every day. But he approaches every day as it's a new day. He's going to do his part. He's going to stay optimistic. And as a result of this, let me tell you what's most remarkable as a result of his mindset and his continuing to follow through on his therapy and to stay strong and to stay in this belief mode. What's amazing about him is his body is not deteriorating. So there is something going on, and I want to explore this more with him. I would like to explore this more with his mom. But she had mentioned in an interview that his body is not deteriorating even as a result of being in that chair for so long. And that's what's most remarkable. It's that there is a connection between his mind and his body. And after being on the phone with him for a good while, and in fact, I have this interview. It's on my YouTube channel. You can go to my YouTube channel, Vic's Natural, and actually hear the interview straight from Eric's mouth about these topics and what keeps him motivated. But what's remarkable is that his body is receiving his thoughts, and he is living the life that his mind is creating. Not that he's been dealt, he's not living the paralysis. He's really living the opportunity to walk again, the opportunity to make the most of his circumstances and to show that even a wheelchair cannot bind your dreams. It cannot thwart your dreams. And he has so much to be grateful for, he tells me. And that's what keeps him motivated every day, to keep moving forward, to keep progressing, to live a rich life, a tremendously rich life. And we talked a little bit about his senses being heightened as a result of the paralysis. And he said no one's ever asked him that, but he was talking with his aunt about it recently. And he mentioned that his vision and hearing is absolutely remarkable. And it reminded me to have the conversation with him that nothing is ever really lost. When one faculty gets diminished, another one steps up to compensate. And that's really what is quite remarkable, that all of us are whole, and we cannot be diminished or depleted even when our ability to walk has been taken away from us. Something else gets enhanced. There's never a net deterioration. Even though something may be fractured or something may be taken temporarily, something else steps up to keep you whole and continuous, and that's all of us. And so I hope you listen to the interview on my YouTube channel, Vic's Natural, with Eric LeGrand. Please follow Eric on Instagram, Eric LeGrand 52. He's a remarkable inspiration to me, a wonderful human being, a contagious smile, and you will very much be affected by his kind words, his perspective, and as I was. And like I said, people ask me all the time what inspires me, what motivates me. It's people like Eric LeGrand. So I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. I wish you all the best in good health. I hope you found it inspiring. I hope you found it motivating. And please have a wonderful, wonderful day.